Where did everything start? For me, it all started with doing a little bit of an inventory, right? Your max and your min. Remember, this is A, this is B, C, and D. D is the midline, right? You got to remember that. The midline, if you add the amplitude to the midline, you get to the top. If you subtract the amplitude from the midline, you get to the bottom, right? So that's why we do D plus A, D minus A, right? So you get a negative value and you get a positive value. So you're actually hovering between a negative and a positive the whole time. The midline, although not extremely crucial to state, this is all just prep work, right? I figure out the period. This is very important. This is going to determine your X scale. That's why I do that. I figure out the period because that's the only thing that tells you what's happening along the X axis or how much to go up by. This stuff right here is what I call the Y scale. This is going to come back later. X scale, Y scale. Okay. So you go to your graph. I started. I'm gonna stay in the positives, and I realized, right, I need to come down all the way to like negative 20 at least, because it's gonna be 21, and the max is 19, so I'm gonna go up to that 19 mark. Yes, I've seen all kinds of scales out there. That's fine. Like as long as you are consistent, not a big deal. So your graph may be a lot smaller than mine or bigger than mine. That's fine. In terms of the X, how did I know how far out to come out with the graph? I basically, if I go to my window and I go to X max, I go 3 times whatever the period ends up being. The period rounds to 24 exactly. So it's 72. So if I graph this, this is what I get. So I go from here to here is one cycle, from here to here is another cycle. So 3 peaks are clearly visible. So if I go out to 70 or 72, I'm going to be just fine. Got it? Okay, so next step, crucial step, is to find your starting point. Oh, here it is. This one right here. I found my first max. No, you don't need to label it. It just needs to be plotted where it's supposed to go. So 9 is, this is 8, 5 is there, 9 is right about there. So you go up and you just make your dot right there by 1924. It's not quite at 20. And then I'm going to keep adding a period to that. So I'm going to add, this is 9. I'm going to label it. You don't have to. But you add 24 to 9. What is that? 33? Right? Yeah, 33. So the next point would be, this is 35, 33 is right about there. So the next point is right there. If you go 33 plus 24, help me out, 57? 57? His on, yeah, thank you. Can always count on his own to bail me out of my problems. Okay, so there are my 3 peaks. You could have gone and found them exactly. Then I found my first min. On my calculator, I use second trace minimum, right? On my calculator to find, I found this one, so I'm continuing down the curve. I find that one, because then I can just add a period and move forward from there, which is at 21 negative. So 21 is right here. Let's go down to negative 21 something. Okay, and we're adding 24 to this, which is 45. Okay, so we're at 45, which is actually right there. And we're ready to graph. Could you find the y-intercept here? Yes. What is the y-intercept, by the way? Second trace value, x is equal to 0. It's negative 1577. So if you want to add more detail, it's right about there. If you want to add, that doesn't hurt. Just don't touch the y-axis unless you know that's where it's going to go. So you go from here down to that, curve out a bit. That's one cycle. That's two cycles right there. And technically here you should also put an arrowhead because it's not a word problem, right? It just keeps going. So, and don't forget, y is equal to 20.51 sine. Just put your equation down. Okay. These numbers could be in the hundreds, it could be in the thousands, so be comfortable with that, adjust your scale accordingly. Yeah?
Do you get any marks for the prerequisite to the graph?
Unfortunately, you don't. Like, are you saying you did this and it didn't pan out for you? Okay, yeah, for sure, I would give you some marks there. But usually, in and of itself, this is kind of just prep work before you start graphing. Yeah. So I'll give you at least a mark, 1 out of 3. Okay. Oh, it did say starting from x equal to 0. Oops, I didn't. Well, you read it. It was there. So good thing that I added this point, right? So we're good. My graph reflects that, so we're good. So if you have this, I'll give you the 3 marks today. And then the bonus, what's the bonus up there? What are the 3 marks for? I would say labels. Usually it's labels, meaning x and y today, and the equation. That gets you a mark. The scale on the x and the y, is it consistent? And your shape. And by the shape, we mean are the points where they're supposed to be. You don't need to label them. You just need to make sure they are placed in the approximate location. And if you know exact, then you put it on the exact spot if you're able to do that, okay? So name and last name, and then we'll do the bonus. You get 1 bonus if you did this. So what does it say? Minimum is simply 153.91 minus.
Excuse the interruption. The vehicle license CRR 310. You're blocking an exit. If you could please remove your vehicle. Your truck is blocking the exit. CRR 310. Thank you.
Let me just do the math here real quick. This is, the minimum is negative 264.32. The maximum is 572.14. And your midline, oh wait, no, it doesn't ask for midline, right? It asks for period. That'd be 2 pi divided by 142.9. So 2 pi divided by 142.9, we have 0.04, if you round to 2 decimals, is your answer there. So a +1 if you got this one right, but still it's out of 3, right? And just put your name and last name. So you could have potentially scored 4 out of 3 if you got that right. Oh, question. Did anybody graph this on their calculator? What would you expect the waves to look like? Would they be like far apart or close together? Very close together. Like 0.04, right? Like, so the graph is probably going to be like this. Your screen will be probably completely filled in if you look at too many cycles. So if B is increased, the wavelength becomes shorter. Did you know that the period is also the wavelength? It's the distance between the tops, right? The wavelength. So keep that in mind.